I spent all day yesterday watching movies at the theater. I suppose the highlight was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 Out of the Shadows. But you know what? I'm not going to review it. I am going to think back to, like what the franchise means to me. Now, I first heard of it, one weekend when my father came to pick me up after my parents were divorced. And my father was all excited about it, and he was like, "Hey, there's this new cartoon. It's so cool. It's so fun. I watch it every weekend. I recorded every episode so that we could all watch it together. When you came to visit." And he was like telling us the jokes from it on the ride up there, and he really liked it. And I wasn't really that much into it at the time, but as time went on, it became a huge fad. And it's like I remember I was in the Boy Scouts, and my mother got some extra money from her boyfriend or something like that, and she was going to go and buy me all four action figures, which was really something special. It's like back then, we didn't I didn't get stuff like that. I didn't get the big birthday present like that, but she was going to buy all four of them, and I would be like, "Wow, now that is like the biggest birthday present ever. That's almost like a Christmas present right there." But the only one they had was Leonardo. And, well, she said, "Well, I got a rain check on the others, and, I'll get them another time." But the moment was gone, and I never did get them. I just took the Leonardo action figure and played with it until I lost the weapon belt and the swords and all the other pieces that went with it, like everybody that lives in a mess eventually does. And, I guess you could say there was somebody I knew, a guy named Kenneth. He was my brother-in-law's brother. Best friend ever. Now, more than him, like being into the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I remember one time I was like hanging out over at him and his brother's house. He lived with my brother-in-law at the time, before him and my sister were married. And we were hanging out with his friend Sonny, and he was going to rent a game or two for the PlayStation for him and like Sonny to play with. And I wanted, or I was like, well, I would get this one. It was Soul Blade for the PlayStation. And you know what? He was just like, "You know what? I'm going to get that one too." So it's like you'll have something to play with, and we can all be friends. And I remember a few years. Well, anyway, his brother, another brother that wasn't even my brother-in-law, owed him some money. Gave him a motorcycle instead. That he had been, trying to get running or something. And, he took the motorcycle instead of the money. And, by that time he had gotten married and was living with his wife and stepson. And, anyway, he took the motorcycle. He fixed it. And, like the first time he rode it, he rode around the block. And, I think he was trying to, like lock the rear brake and, like kick it into a slide at the stop. But he did it wrong, got thrown off the motorcycle, and bam, his head hit the ground. And that was his last breath and his last heartbeat. And it was just done. No more Kenneth. Anyway, he was a good friend. And he was really into the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And, I guess, you know, after that, many, many years later, his nephew, Jay, you know, or was playing, or, it's like his brother was like looking through his old stuff, and, he had the four Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And, it's like he let his son, Jay, play with them. And, it's like I was sitting there with him, playing with these Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, standing them up, posing them where they would stand on their own. And Jay actually broke the damn nunchucks that, like for the Michelangelo figure. I guess it's like there's a little technique where you push them out of the belt instead of grabbing them by the loop and pulling them. Anyway, I guess that, when I think of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I think about spending time with my father, back when it was like more simple. And a cartoon could, like make everybody happy. Wow, a new cartoon. That's so fucking awesome. I think about my friend Kenneth and how he just did something extra to make me feel included. And even though there was nothing to buy, I think about my mother having a little extra money to buy me a nicer birthday present than usual. And I guess that I should feel happy when I think about these things and not so lonely and put upon, like my life isn't that bad. Anyway, so I guess the important thing in life really is, that you have people that you care about and that care about you. And that's what makes the teenage that's what makes the teenage mutant ninja that's what makes that's what that